The generic geriatric cyclist. Grab your popcorn now, because we're going to the movies with the generic geriatric cyclist. I'm not a professional film critic, but I love the movies. I also love cycling, so I'm combining the two so we can focus on something other than enduring the winter and counting the days until we can comfortably ride outside without risking hypothermia and toe frostbite. Let's start with one of the all-time classic cycling documentaries, A Sunday in Hell. It's often referred to as the greatest cycling movie of all time. That's quite a reputation to live up to. So, does A Sunday in Hell deserve the hyperbole? Let's see. A Sunday in Hell is a Danish documentary by Jørgen Leth that chronicles the 1976 Paris-Roubaix spring classic cycling race that's referred to L'Enfer du Nord, or, to you and me, the Hell of the North. The hell of which the title refers to is largely due to the cobbled sections of the 166-mile route, the notorious pavé. A Sunday in Hell approaches Paris-Roubaix from multiple perspectives, including that of race organizers, the fans, the media, and of course, the participants. Leth's film opens by featuring pre-race preparations of the support teams as they arrive in the early morning. It then introduces us to the race's participants, including a late career Eddie Merckx, three-time race winner Roger Delvalmic, Merckx's heir apparent Freddie Martins, and Italian great Francesco Moser. It's refreshing to see a cycling documentary that's about cycling and not about cyclists using performance-enhancing drugs, even if we have to go back over 4 decades to find one. There's an English-language narration by David Saunders with no attempt at subtitles or other means of translation of the dialogue. Your high school French will be of no use to you, as the fans speak mostly at frenetic, excited superspeed. Thankfully, Saunders' calm voice lets us know everything we need to understand the action. The film presents an era when bicycle racing events were not the well-oiled machines that we see today. From a contemporary perspective, the whole affair seems to be inordinately chaotic. It takes an excessive amount of time for the race to get underway, and it seems to highlight all the anarchy of a Three Stooges short. Labor union protesters delay the start of the race and interrupt it during its progress, crowding and scolding the riders. And, while there's nobody holding a sign that causes a major pileup, as in the 2021 Tour de France, the fans don't always give the riders space to safely ride. Even support vehicles seem to endanger the cyclists. It's a wild ride throughout. Then there's the dust. Dust everywhere. The cyclists look like coal miners after a hard day's work. It would be hard to imagine surviving a gentle walk in those conditions, let alone lung-busting efforts. And as if the slippery, bumpy pavé wasn't hard enough. And few of the riders wore gloves or eye protection. And helmets? You've got to be kidding. What about crash-related injuries? You just writhe in agony until a doctor somehow manages to get you. If today's riders are gifted athletes who happen to be very tough and determined, these cyclists are more like tough, determined guys who happen to be gifted athletes. What I read in somebody's online review sums it up perfectly. The bikes were made of steel, and so were the men who rode them. Jørgen Leth's cameras always seem to be in the right place to document the many crashes, injuries, and the race strategies. The film captures the excitement of the race in a way that only a well-edited reconstructive narrative can. I won't give away the results that ultimately play out on the lap-and-a-half finish in the Roubaix cycling stadium. That might ruin the drama for you. Also, in a sense, the winner of the race is anticlimactic as compared to the dramatic lead changes and challenges leading up to the finish. So, does A Sunday in Hell stand up to its reputation as the greatest cycling film of all time? I'll defer on this because, not being a film scholar, I'm unqualified to proffer an opinion worth taking seriously. But whatever the film's standing in the top 10, A Sunday in Hell should be required viewing for fans of the sport of cycling. You won't regret spending 95 minutes with a classic depiction of our sport at its gritty best. What do you think of the film, and what did you think of my review? Please leave a comment.